Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Boss Lux, a channel documenting a journey to success because success begins with the mind. My name is Camilla Mills, and today's video is going to be all things credit cards. Yes, anyone who knows me will attest to the fact that I love using my cards for very good reasons too. They actually hold a very special place in my heart. At this point, I don't use physical cash at all because it doesn't really serve me any purpose. You know, in this day and age, it doesn't make any sense to use cash when you can practically borrow money for free, right? But you need to do it the right way. Now, what is the right way? We'll get into that. Now, before I do that, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and slam that like button. If you're feeling a little extra fancy today and spicy, actually, go ahead and click that subscribe button. It is free and it does help my channel out. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that this is the right and only way to do it. I'm saying this is how I've been using my credit card. This is how I was able to obtain an 800 plus credit score. Now, let's just keep in mind that anything above a 750 really doesn't get you any special perks or special privileges, really, for that matter. It really just gives you bragging rights, if I'm being honest. But other than that, it's nice to have. Yes, I just entered the legendary, the honorary 800 club. But these are the reasons why I use my credit cards for everyday purchases. We're going to go ahead and talk about the reasons and the benefits of having credit cards. And we're going to talk about starter credit cards or credit cards that will help you build your credit score, whether you have bad credit or no credit at all, and ways to keep your credit score active, or not even active actually, more so to keep aware of what your score is. You know, how can you improve on something if you don't know what it is? Now, before we even get into this video, I just want to point out this is a huge disclaimer. I am not a licensed financial advisor, okay? I am not a licensed financial advisor. I come to you with personal experiences. This is what I've done to build my score. This is what I've done on my regular everyday life. You take this financial advice, do your own research, figure out what would work for you, what wouldn't work for you, understand everything that comes behind it because these are your finances. This is money involved. This is something that can make or break you. Okay, so I do want you guys to not just take my advice and run with it, but to do your own research. Again, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. With that being said, if you know you don't have a good relationship with money, the first half of this video may just not be for you. I suggest just skip. I will point out where the video actually begins and ends for where the benefits of the credit cards are, and also where it begins for how to begin, increasing your credit score. So if you know you're not good with money, the first half of the video may not be for you. But stay tuned for the second half. Definitely learn something, and then maybe come back to the video at a later date, Take this advice with a grain of salt. Baby steps. Don't go, spending every single dime on your credit card, racking it up and getting yourself into debt, baby steps. Understand what we're talking about and then apply them little but surely. Be wise with it. Make good decisions. Fun fact, in September of 2017, and it's funny too because I feel like I keep talking about 2017. I feel like that was my year of just financial destruction. It really was. But September of 2017, I went and got a new credit card. I opened up a new credit card. And what did I do? The week after I opened up the credit card, I bought a $900 phone. Swipe. Okay. The week after that, I put $4,000 down payment for an overpriced car onto my credit card. Swipe. And I maxed it out. So I was broke and I maxed out my cards. Stressful. Credit cards can be such an amazing tool, but when you use it wrong, it can be a complete nightmare. Don't just do what I do and swipe, or did, I should say. Don't just do what I did and just swipe for anything. No, because you can get into really big trouble with that. I say that to say this. This is a journey to success, not a journey to getting yourself in debt. Now let's officially jump into the benefits of using credit cards. First and favorite benefit of all is cashback rewards. Free money. Yes, free. So cashback rewards is pretty much an incentivized way of the credit card companies to get you to spend more money. So the more money you spend, the more money they give you back. For example, Amazon Prime, the Visa card actually gives you 5% back on all Amazon purchases, 3% back on Whole Foods and gas purchases, and then 1% back on all other purchases. Now, I know a lot of credit card companies give you 1% back on all other purchases. Banks such as Chase, Bank of America, and Discover give you 5% back on select categories. So if you want the cashback rewards, you do have to do a little bit of research to see what the categories are, to see what exactly you can spend and get more money back. But you do get 1% cash back on all purchases. And Discover, for specifically, actually matches you on whatever your rewards are for the first year. So whether you get $100, $300, $500 back cash back, they will match it. So that will be a total of $1,000 cash back for your first year. Second benefit is travel reward points. Now, I'm sure you've probably heard of someone going on vacation for free. How exactly do they do that? A lot of people use their travel reward points. For every dollar that you spend, you accumulate points. That's how the credit cards companies actually use their point system. So for example, I know Bank of America offers 1.5 points for every dollar cash purchase that you make, and Chase, more specifically the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, you do get 60,000 points when you first enroll. However, you do have to spend 4,000 within the first 3 months, and that 60,000 points does equate to $750 for traveling, which is actually pretty cool. So you do get to go anywhere for $750. But you do have to keep in mind with that card specifically, there is a $95 annual fee. So keep in mind, a lot of these cards do have annual fees. Some of them don't, some of them do. When you go to sign up, just look for the ones that don't. You do still get travel rewards for some of them that don't. Okay, so you don't have to pay for annual fees if you don't really need to. So some of them do have travel reward points. A lot of cards also come with sign up bonuses. Now, sign up bonuses are whether they require you spend a couple of $100. A lot of them require about $500 within the first 3 months. They'll give you either $150 cash back for spending that within the first 3 months. I know right now Wells Fargo Wise card is actually offering that promotion. So that is something to look for. So sign up bonuses, you get free money for spending money on something that you are already going to buy. Now that $500, again, you're not actually spending $500 on stuff that you weren't going to buy. No, this is $500 that you could spend on something that you need. That's very doable on groceries, gas, and purchases that you need. I know Wells Fargo Wise is actually currently offering that promotion, so that is something to look into if that's something that interests you. If not, don't. Personally, I'm not really a fan of Wells Fargo at all, but I know they're one of the only cards that are offering cash back for spending $500 at the minimum. Fourth benefit to using credit cards above debit cards is the 0% transaction fee. Now, this goes back to my travelers and adventurers, people who like to go out of state or out of country for that matter. You don't get charged for using your credit card. Discover is actually really good when it comes to that. No matter what card it is, whether it's the Discover Secure or Discover Student, Discover It card, no matter Discover card you apply for, they all have a 0% transaction fee. Foreign transaction fee. So that's actually pretty awesome. As opposed to the debit card, for any debit card, there is usually a minimum of about 1%, and they go as high to about 5%, some of them. So that's something to keep in mind. But in addition to the 0% foreign transaction fee, now, if you travel, not even if you travel, but if you're around, I've actually been a victim of this 3 times now, but credit card fraud. People steal your credit card information and use your card. My bank specifically, both Discover and Bank of America, have actually contacted me directly when they noticed fraudulent charges on my card. They called me to verify if it was me. It wasn't me. They closed out my card instantly. They sent me a new one within a day or two, and that was that. However, with a debit card, if you have fraudulent charges on your debit card, it takes about 30 to 45 days for them to go through a thorough investigation, to get your money back, figure out what happened. I don't want to wait that long. I don't really want to do all that. I just want my money. Another benefit I personally like taking advantage of is the interest-free promotion that credit cards do offer when you initially enroll with them. Now, if you want to do a balance transfer to pay down your debt, again, to pay down your debt, not add on more debt. If you want to do a balance transfer to pay down your debt, transferring your balance from one credit card to another credit card to stop your interest gives you that opportunity to pay everything off within a specific time frame, whether it's 12 months, 15 months, or 18 months, whatever the promotion is. Try and pay down your debt within that time frame to avoid paying extra money from the previous card that you transferred over. Now, that is a balance transfer promotion. They also offer interest-free, 0% interest on certain credit cards. That's if you spend whatever amount you spent within a time frame, you also get 0% on that. So not only do you get 0% on balance transfer, but you also get 0% on purchases. But you do have to keep in mind with the balance transfer, I think there's about maybe a 3% fee to transfer them over, but that's probably significant savings compared to the interest that you're probably paying on the previous credit card. So that is something to consider. And every card is different, so we do have to keep that in mind. You just have to do your research on what card would best fit your need. So how would a credit card benefit you as far as building your score, improving your score, whether you have bad credit or no credit at all? To build your score, personally, I feel as though the best way to actually build a score would be a secured credit card. All right, now what is a secured credit card? Secured credit card is essentially you go to the bank, they approve you for a secured credit card on a certain amount, whether it's $200, $500, $300, they approve you on that much. Now, you need to have that physical amount handy. That physical amount is going to be your deposit. Now, if you want to deposit more, you absolutely can, but you cannot deposit anything less than that. That is your minimum deposit. That's going to be considered your limit. So again, if you wanted to deposit more, let's say you get approved for $500 and you wanted to deposit $1,000, your credit limit for that secured card is going to be $1,000. So you can spend up to $1,000. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking, okay, I can spend $1,000 because the $1,000 that I gave them is going to supplement my spending. No, it is not. That $1,000 is a deposit. They will, no, you spend $1,000, but you have to pay the $1,000. A secured credit card is still a credit card. You have to pay back what you spend. So whatever you spend, you have to pay that back. You still have interest on secured credit cards, and you still have minimum payments. You will still have late fees if you don't pay your credit card. So you definitely need to keep up with your payments for secured credit cards. This is a startup to building your credit. This is a way for you to build your credit. Treat it as such. Treat it as a credit card because it is such. So with the secured credit card, a few good ones to look into would be the Bank of America secured credit card with a minimum of $300. Discover It credit card Discover It secured credit card minimum being $200, and Capital One with a minimum of $49. Again, if you're applying for these, you do have to have the cash ready to deposit that. And in addition to that, be ready to give them your account number and your routing number. So those are requirements needed for opening up a secured credit card. So whatever your limit is on that secured credit card, try using 10% of that. Now, 10%, I say 10% because it goes back to your utilization rate. Again, this is a credit card and it does reflect on your credit score. Utilization makes up 30% of your credit score. So keeping your balances low and relative to your limit will help you increase your score. So the lower your utilization rate is, the better your score looks. Within a couple of months, a lot of the cards that I mentioned, the Bank of America, Discover, and Capital One eventually return that deposit that you initially put down to open your card, and then change your secured credit card to an unsecured credit card. So in turn, it's an actual credit card where there's no money tied to it. So as stated before, I personally think the secured credit card is probably the best way to start building your credit if you have no credit or bad credit. Another good way, now again, this is with assuming that the person really, really trusts you, but an easy way to help build your credit is to find someone to put you as an authorized user, essentially, on that credit card, and that'll help you build your credit faster. I know a lot of people may not have someone where they can just put them on a credit card. So again, the secured credit card is probably the best way to go with that. So on the credit card company's app, if you go on there, they do have a credit score journey feature where you can follow where you are in your journey with your credit score. You can check a lot of them let you know what you need to change, and what each section of your credit score means and how to improve on that. This helps you have an idea of where you are. Again, we can't really fix something that we don't know about. We need to be mindful of what that score is if we want to improve it. Aside from the individual company's app, there are also apps such as Credit Karma and Credit Sesame. Those are really good. Credit Karma also lets you simulate your score to know, okay, well, if I add this to my score, how will it affect it? If I close out a card, how will it affect it? If I increase my limit, how will it affect my score? So that's actually a pretty cool feature that I like. I know Chase also does offer that. Again, all of the advice given here, take it with a grain of salt. Do your own research, understand the credit score, and really just be wise with your spending. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and slam that like button, press that subscribe button, and don't forget, success begins with the mind.